Leslie from A Friend to Knit With. Welcome to episode 35 of A Friend to Knit With podcast. Today is February 10th and it is a Friday afternoon, and I thought I'd pop on here and talk to you a little bit about my favorite subject, knitting. So yes, if you stumbled upon this channel, it is a channel mostly about knitting. So if you love to knit as much as I love to knit, then you're in the right spot. I can be found on Instagram as Leslie Friend. I am friend to friend on Ravelry, and my blog name is A Friend to Knit With. I am coming to you from a new spot in our home. I usually film above our garage, and this is our office. So this is my side of the office, and my husband's usually over there on that side of the office, but he's not in the office today. So I thought I'd sit here because this is usually where most of my projects live, and if I'm trying to figure things out with knitting and then other paperwork belongs here too, but the fun stuff belongs here. And I have a whole wall that I change out with colors of yarn, and I recently organized all my needles onto that same, I've showed it to you before, but I organized my needles, so I just thought I was film here. So welcome. Yes, if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. You know how much I love this community and knitters in general. So I'm gonna just talk a little bit about what's off my needles and what's on my needles, which is so exciting. I can hardly, I literally wake up in the morning and I'm so thankful I woke up, and I'm always saying thank you. And then my knitting propels me out of bed. And I love that I have something that I can't wait to get to every day, and it's always my knitting. So anyhow, and I also bought I have some acquisitions, as I did buy some yarn this last January, last month, and I was giggling because Margaret from Boboleros, I don't know if you know that podcast, but you should take a look. She's a classical pianist. She's amazing. Absolutely so talented. She has a great podcast, but she said that she ordered a lot of yarn from Lamb and Kid this month, and she envisioned them saying, oh, here's Margaret from New Jersey, another order from Margaret, New Jersey, and that's how I felt. Leslie from Pittsburgh, here's another order for her. Let's pack up her order. I ordered probably 4 different times, so I'll share that with you as well. But okay, the first thing off my needles. Oh, and I will also go into some of the things that's on your needles, but probably currently off your needles, because I've been asking you for the last couple of months, and I think it's a great way to be inspired. Maybe you can find a new pattern as well. So, okay, this is off my needles. The No Frills sweater by Petite knits. I know you guys have all heard about this probably, but in case you haven't, I will share a little bit about it. My daughter was, scrolling through her Instagram account, and she had this, I guess, little ad pop up, or Petite Knits showed up in her feed, and probably because she follows me, another knitter, but showed up in her feed, and so she sent me a picture, and she said, do you think I'd be able to make that? And I told her what I would tell anyone: if you can knit and purl, you can absolutely make anything. It's the pattern reading and the fixing of the mistakes that are the things that, require the help. But if you can knit and purl, trust me, you can make anything. So we went through the yarns on Unling's site because they have the most gorgeous yarns, the whole palette. And we found a color, and she found the color that she wanted, actually. And I decided I would make the same color, that we would just twin. So I ordered this, enough to make both of us a sweater. This is their number 11, and it's the baby merino, and has 10% cashmere. Absolutely love this. And then this is their mohair and silk that I held together with that. And this is actually all I have left. Now, I made this small, and I had 5 balls of each. So that will definitely make a small or an extra small for you. And I'm telling you this purposely because I panicked, literally thought I miscalculated the yardage of the sweater, almost through my sweater, the body. I thought, there is no way. I am definitely running out of yarn of number 11. So I messaged them to see if they had the same dye lot, and they were just lovely and sweet and sent me a few balls. So I will tell you, their customer service is incredible, and the time that you get, I live in the States and they are in Denmark, and it comes very, very quickly. So just wanted to mention that. It doesn't take long. It doesn't get held up anywhere. And these two held together, made this beautiful. And I just feel like this drape, incredible. This combination with this pattern, it's no frills, but it's very thrilling. I totally think it's thrilling. Here, I'll stand up and show you a little bit about it. I think that you can, I didn't try this out before, but I think you pretty much get the idea. It is, just a basic raglan sweater. I really prefer a raglan. I decided, months ago, over a yoke. I feel I like the fit better. Doesn't seem to pull as much. I just like the cut on my shoulders better. Then the yoke, the cuffle that I just made was a yoke. And I like the way it fits, and you have to probably do that. Are there any raglans that are? Yeah, there are, but most color works are just a yoke sweater, and I really like a raglan. So if you've never done raglans, they're super easy, and the fit is great. So I can't say anything else. I did a twisted rib on all the cuffs and used the US size 6 needle, and I did a US 4 on the cuffs. The pattern had, mentioned using a 2.5, but I always go down 2 needle sizes for my cuffs, unless it's something different that I'm making. But 2.5, I'm sure, would have been just a little tighter. I don't know how much tighter, and maybe it was, I don't know. But I really am so pleased with the yarn combination and the pattern. I feel like this is just now a very special sweater. The fabric is light yet warm. It's almost like delicate to me. I'm pleased as punch with this. Cannot say enough about it. I was in Bozeman, Montana last week, visiting my son Charlie, who lives there. And oh my goodness, my husband is driving up the driveway. I always get so embarrassed if he comes in and I'm talking to my phone. But I filmed a little clip in the yarn shop in Bozeman, Montana, because they have an amazing selection of yarn from Montana. So I will show you that at the end. I'll try to pop it on here. I had it on Instagram. But I went to their yarn shop, which is wonderful, and I had always been wanting. I saw these first on Laura from Penrose Knits. She was talking about her little 9-inch knitting needles, and I thought, I think I have to try those. My mom always said, we have to stay relevant. We have to try the new things. I don't know how new these are, but the first time I saw them was about a year ago or a little more. Every time I have seen them since, I have messaged the person and asked, where do you get those? And I can never, everyone seems to be sold out. So my yarn store doesn't even carry them. So I asked in Stix Yarn in Bozeman, Montana, if they had them, and voila, they did. So they had the smaller sizes, which go up to 3. I guess it's 0, 1, 2, 3. And then this is a 4 to 8. And then there is a 9 to 11 or 13, something like that. But they come, if you haven't tried them, I am sold, totally sold. And I wish my mom could have tried them. I thought she would love them. So I initially tried them when, hi, honey. Honey, I'm filming. Honey, you weren't supposed to be home yet.
I didn't know, sorry. I'm sorry. You forgive me. Hi, everyone. I'm the disruptor. That's really sweet. you need as angry as you are.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. All right, I have to grab one thing.
Then what are you going to do?
And then I guess I'm going to get Can I close this door? Can I close these or not? You don't want these closed?
You can close them.
Okay.
Okay, so as I was saying, I was, around this mark when I started and I tried the needles, and I must say, I have heard how people just can't use them because of their hands. So I did feel like my hands were kind of aching and I had to massage them. Finished the sleeve, and by the time I got to this sleeve, I started with the longer cord because they give you 3 cords in here. A 6 to an 8 inch. Yeah, 6 to 7 and an 8 inch. So I started here with the longer cord and the longer needle, because there's needle tips that are 3 inches and needle tips that are 2 inches. So I started with the 3 inch, so all the longest stuff. And I thought, this is going well. And then when I had to, I just, twisted off the needles and you change the cord. And by that time I was down to the smallest cord and the 2 inch needle tips, and it was great. I thought I breezed through the sleeves because of this. So I love these. Absolutely love these. I only have them up till size 8, and the sweater I'm working on now is a size 9, so I will have to use magic loop for that. I'm putting myself on a spending halt, so I'm not going to invest in any more quite yet, but definitely would love to have all of the sizes and these little 9 inch as well. I could not believe I had been living without them for so long. How did that happen? So anyhow, the sleeves were so fun to knit then, and yeah, what can I say? I can see another one of these in my future. And another, I don't know, they have just really delicious colors in their whole line. The palette is amazing. So anyhow, that is the first thing that is off my needles. The second thing off my needles, I have showed you guys this before. It's the Best Friend Butterfly Blanket, and I'm one of the reasons I'm telling you about this. I have a tutorial on how to do these butterflies, and I did that tutorial using this blanket, which I only had a few butterflies done when I filmed the tutorial, and finally finished it. It took me, I think I filmed that in June, so I finally finished the butterfly blanket. And I wanted to tell you that the yarn for these are on sale. So if you downloaded the pattern when I offered it back in June, and you haven't ordered any yarn, the big twist value, this is the yarn the pattern calls for. This is sold at Joann Fabrics. It's on sale for $2.99. I just looked this morning. So you can make a gift for $6. And the pattern is on Ravelry. If you did not download it, it is over there. It's the Best Friend Butterfly Blanket. I love the yarn. These are consistently accurate with their yardage. You will only end up with a tiny bit of yarn left, enough to make a little tassel or something with the washing instructions, and give your gift that way. I do know some people that messaged me and said that they love this, that they use it just as a little lap blanket for their car or when they're sitting in their living room or whatever. So anyhow, that is the Best Friend Butterfly Blanket. And I'm so pleased to finish that. I actually need another one because, and that's what I'm going to use this cream for. My girlfriend's daughter had twins. So, and they are home from the hospital. They should have had this gift a while ago, but this is kind of like my March goal, is to get this done in March. Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention, the head covers that I talked about before. These are finally on Ravelry. They just came back from the tech editor, and she did an amazing job. She is very patient with me. It's really hard to get all that verbiage right. But the name is Friendly, and I'd love to give you the patterns. So for the next 10 days, if you enter the code Friendly at checkout, then you too can have this pattern and make a set or a driver or a wood. So there's 2 different patterns in there, one for the driver and one for the wood. And these were made for my son, Andrew, who like about a year and a half ago asked for a head cover for this tournament he was playing in. And I knit him a head cover that night because I totally forgot. And then in the fall, he asked me if I could put a stripe on it. And I said I would just make him another pair and then, or another head cover. And I forgot. And then it was like December 22nd. And I didn't have much for him for Christmas. So I thought, oh, I'm going to make him head covers. So I made these for head covers and I wrote down the pattern and anyhow, so this is available. It's called Friendly because Andrew's nickname is Friendly. And yeah, so you can download the pattern if you'd like. Friendly, use the code Friendly. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to tell you that was off my needles. Now we can get to the good part, what's on my needles. So I have never ordered from Lamb & Kid. I don't know what was stopping me. I guess I never had a pattern I was dying to make. But then the Saturday Shrug came out by Caddy Jacks, and I knew I wanted to make one. And I figured I would make one in Big Birdie. So this is the Saturday Shrug. And yeah, I'm fully on the Saturday Shrug train. So I'm using the Big Birdie, excuse me. And Big Birdie is it merino and, no, it's baby alpaca and silk. It's extremely yummy. It is so light, just light as a feather. And I'm using vintage. This is vintage. And this is the colorway Camel. And when they came out, that's when I ordered. When they came out with their neutral palette, I literally went cuckoo for it. I want everything in their neutral palette line. But yes, I have vintage and peanut, and I am just loving this project. My ball winder broke this morning. So my husband glued it, so we're waiting. I have to wait till tomorrow to roll another skein. I don't know why. I think I was just so anxious to cast on that I only rolled one. So this is one skein of Big Birdie. That's pretty good. So I think it takes 2 skeins. Just thought of that. So anyhow, super excited about that. I ordered yarn for 2 more of those. I'll show you what's the other thing on my needle right now because it's also out of Big Birdie. And this is the fancy sweater. Don't have it right here with me, the pattern. But it is do I? Oh, I do. Hold on. This is the fancy sweater by Lamb & Kid. This is out of Big Birdie. Like I said, the camel came available. And I set my alarm for the update because I knew I had to get it. And I ordered 6 skeins of the camel, and I can definitely make a sweater and probably a Saturday Shrug out of that. But this is using the peanut, which is the camel color, and Big Bird, this is all Big Birdie. And this is Blackbird. And Blackbird, I think it's like a navy. I can't really decide. It's navy/black. But I love it. I think I could wear it with black or navy. Love that color. Sometimes it looks black. Oh no, it looks blue. So anyhow, I decided, wait, hold on, let me get the pattern. All right, show the pattern. Like I said, this is fancy. This is Sarah's pattern from Lamb & Kid. And so she had this contrasting neckline, which at first I was going to put vintage in there. And then when I decided to stripe it, I probably will put the Blackbird color in there with the camel. So I started my stripes, if you're interested in striping that sweater, and you're using the same needle size, I did 5 rows. So I did the short rows along the back, and then I did 5 rows in the round, and then started the stripe. I figured I'd have about an inch of the ribbing above here. That's the other thing. I started with just the main sweater because I wasn't sure what neckline I wanted. The sweater has this beautiful stand-up neckline, which I absolutely adore. But if my sweater is kind of big and slouchy, I might do a tighter neckline. And if my sweater is more fitted, then I will do this kind of neckline. Kind of like that combination better. So I feel like with this yarn though, because it kind of catches, if you're going to stripe, you kind of have to be okay. If you're striping in stockinette, you kind of have to be okay with it. Like sometimes you just grab, I try very hard not to grab just a little part of the fiber with the needle, and it sometimes sticks onto the black when I'm changing. So to me, it kind of is like a softer stripe, kind of is brushed. It reminds me of like if you had eyeliner and you smudged it. It's kind of just a little softer. So anyhow, this is Fancy out of Blackbird and Peanut, and I am so excited. When I was organizing my needles this last weekend, I'm very chatty today, I feel like. I found these holders of my mom's that I brought back last year, and I brought all her knitting supplies home with me, and I just feel her on this sweater. I think these are what this was for. I mean, I put this on the tip so it wouldn't fall off, but I have a whole set of them with the different numbers, and I have 2 of everything, so I figured they were for sleeves. And yeah, you just slip it on easily because there's a needle point. Anyhow, I love it. I love those little holders. And I cannot say enough about this light as a feather. Oh, Caitlin from Caddy Jacks made this purple fluffy scarf. Can't remember the name of the pattern, but that's when I knew it was like this amazing yarn. I was just waiting for the color to pop in that would fit into my wardrobe. Okay, so while I was ordering, Leslie from Pittsburgh was ordering yarn, and I ordered, when Jackie first put out the pattern, I knew I had to make one. So I initially ordered this, and it is the Todd worsted, and you hold it with, so you hold one of these with the moo, and then the Todd worsted and the moo, my other stripe was going to be this. So I am going to still make this just a brown and white striped one, off white. And this is the Old Shale, and this is Betty, and this is mixed with Otter and Armadillo. So now I think that'll be beautiful. Very excited for that one. And then Sarah from Lamb & Kid put together all these kits, and I want a green, a preppy green with just navy striped one. And I thought that this was kind of going to be what that is, and maybe it will turn together, maybe these 2 colors. But this is Frog in Birdie, and this is the Todd worsted in Beetle. And Beetle is more like an emerald, where I was kind of going for a Kelly green, but maybe that'll make a Kelly green. And then this is Boot Cut, the mohair, and hold on. Mohair is this is actually alpaca and silk, and the moo is mohair and silk. So if you can't do mohair, because a lot of people can't, then you don't with the moo. You would rather do it in the Birdie. And then the one I'm going to hold that one with is the L&K. So the Boot Cut, the L&K, So I'm going to make that one. We're going away next week, so I'm going to cake this all up if my winder is fixed. Otherwise, I'm making balls, and I'm going to take that with me. It's going to be my knitting project along the way. I'm going to clean my glasses. Hold on. All right, so that is a little bit about what I am working on, although this is maybe one of the longest videos I've ever made. And I am now going to grab my computer and show you a little bit about what's on your needles. Like I said, probably off your needles. I might just do a whole, when I come back from my trip, I might just do a whole what's on your needles. So if you're interested in leaving me a comment about what's on your needles currently, because some of these are kind of old, but not that the knit is old at all, because it's only been a few months, but I might just do a whole, podcast about that. So, all right. What's on your needles? All right, let's get started. Jeanette Harris is making the Ailbiona. All right, let's get started. Jeanette Harris is making the Timepiece cardigan by Ailbiona McLochlainn. And it is on a US size 4 needle. When you purchase the pattern, you get your choice of either a DK or an Aran weight yarn, and it went straight to the top of my queue as far as cardigans. Well, no, I have two. I'll show you the other one. But this is just, I love the boxy yet cropped look of this. I'll read you a little bit about what the designer says about it. The versatile design blends 20th century references from the tennis cardigans of the 20s to Kurt Cobain's infamous MTV Unplugged sweater, whilst offering a contemporary silhouette that plants it firmly in the present time. It is equal parts a nod to the dawn of the cardigan and a stipulation about its future. The pockets, come on, pockets. I love this. So thank you, Jeanette. Wanda is making another cardigan. It's the Symbiose cardigan. This is a beautiful design. I love the picot edging along the front, lace sleeves. It's on a US size 7 needle. It's a DK weight yarn. So the drape must be really beautiful. It's intended to have 6-inch negative ease. This is just a little dressier. I love this cardigan too. Lisa W is making the Oslo hat, and I just felt like that this, bared repeating. I'm sure everyone has seen this. This is a hat by Petite Knits. I am always drawn to this hat. It's on a US size 4 needle. 4 sizes, child, junior, women, man. It's using a DK weight yarn. She also has a mohair edition. I just feel like this looks like such a ready-made hat, I guess. I've wanted to make this hat for some time. Lee G is making the Felix pullover. This to me is just one of those amazing knits that can be worn all the time. This might go in my queue too. It's on a US 10 Aran weight yarn. So this would be a super fast knit. If you haven't done any lace work, there's lace work along the raglan. So that could be something that you can incorporate into your stitches. Little Prairie Library is making the Garter Squish blanket by Stephen West. 2 worsted held together, make a bulky, and it's on a US size 15 needles. So how about the stash buster for this one? I love the simple I-cord edging. I love this blanket for using all of your stash, and it's a free pattern, might I add. Fishco 5 is making Inside Story by Heidi Kiermaier. What can I say? Absolutely love this. This is on a US size 7 worsted weight yarn. You can marl it using a couple of different yarns, or just purchase a worsted weight yarn for this. Use some stash and stripe it. I absolutely love this turtleneck. All right, so when I start looking up your patterns, I get just completely lost in Ravelry patterns and spend a lot of time then really looking at them, and because so many others pop up when you're searching for one. So I wanted to share two that I absolutely loved that I really want to make, hopefully this summer. But one is the Kumo sweater by Julia Wilkins, and it is done in a DK weight yarn on a US size 6 needle, so kind of like the No Frills. And I want to stripe it in a navy and green. This just reminds me of like something I wore like in high school. I had, don't laugh when I tell you this, but I had some clothes with like turtles on it and navy and green and whales and all that preppy stuff. And I would just love a navy and green striped. I want more of a Kelly green. This does look kind of froggy on the screen. More of a Kelly green with more of a navy. But I see this sweater, the Kumo, in that something kind of light. So if you guys ever see any with it would be a DK weight yarn for this pattern, please let me know. I love this wide stripe sweater. And this just looks super drapey and lovely. So there's that. And then I also found the Tea Time cardigan by Mini-Me Knit Design. What can I say? This is on a 10.5 needle, and it is a bulky weight yarn, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like a finer knit, and I think this would be so pretty dressed up, worn with some pretty pants, a skirt, or jeans. Like, I just feel like this is a great wardrobe staple to have too. Oh, I see an introductory promotion. Enjoy 15% off the pattern with the code T from now through the 8th of February. Well, I guess that's expired. Let me try it right now and let you know. T from now, let me try it. I'll buy it now. Use a coupon code. The code is T. Apply. Coupon expired. So it is $8.51 US, but that is a great sweater too. I absolutely love that. All right, I think that is all I'm going to share today. I am sorry for the long podcast, and I will be back soon. If you want to leave, if you like this, I seem to get a lot of comments that you guys really like me sharing what's on our friends' needles. So if you want me to share more, please leave a comment. I'll do a whole podcast just filled with your knits, because I love to find new knits too. And our friends out there are making them. So please let me know. All right, use the code FRIENDLY at checkout for the head covers if you'd like to make those now or anytime in the future. And I will pop in the video of Stix at the end of this. And if you ever have you heard of Webb's Superstore, yarn store? Our friend Knitting Nana, she has a podcast and she went through Webb's, and I loved watching that. So I'll link her below too if you'd like to see the inside of Webb's. I thought that was so interesting. A little overwhelming. I don't know what to buy when I have so many choices, but it is a little overwhelming. And I did buy more things at Stix Yarn. I will share that soon, but I was just going to share what I brought from Lamb and Kid this time. All right, so thanks so much for hanging in there, and until next time, just remember, you always have a friend to knit with. All right, take care. Hey friends, so I woke up here in Bozeman, Montana, where my son Charlie lives. We are here visiting him for just a couple of days, and I thought I would take you along with me to the local yarn shop here. It's called Stix Yarn, and I went there last summer for the first time by recommendation of my friend Mary Ruth, and I loved it so much that I thought that you would love to see it too. So let's go, come with me. It's cold outside, so bundle up. Okay, so here I am in the amazing store, Stix, I was telling you about. These are the owners.
Hi.
Tracy and Cameron.
Hi.
And they're going to show you a little bit and talk to you about some of the local yarns from Montana.
So we're so excited to have a lot of local Montana yarn. A lot of sheep live here in Montana. Mm-hmm. So although we don't have a lot of processing in Montana, we do have a lot of sheep grown in Montana.
And some beautiful things get made out of it.
Yeah. One of the ones that you might have heard of before is Farmer's Daughter Fibers. She's up in Great Falls. We carry a lot of her yarn. This one here in my hand is grown here in Montana. It's Rambouillet, which is a breed of sheep. It's really nice and springy. That's what the striped sweater is made out of. Uses Recollect. You might recognize this one.
Lots of people have made that one.
Yeah.
That's one of our favorites. Another one of our favorites, this is from a little farm called Earth Star. They're up in Whitefish, kind of northern Montana, northwest. My favorite thing that I've made with it, this is one of our designs that can't remember the name of. Slate cowl? Shale cowl? I don't remember. Yeah, we had for a subscription box earlier this year, or last year, I guess, and this was one of the designs that was in there. Super squishy, super bouncy. Love that one too. Oh, and speaking of Cormo, another one you may have seen before are Daylights and Nightshades from Harrisville. It's milled in Harrisville in New Hampshire, but all these sheepies live here too. So we've got lots of Cormo sheep in Montana. Probably my favorite breed. I love them. So soft, it's lovely to knit with.
The Nightshades is 12 colors of black. That they take black fiber and then they dust it with a color. So you can kind of see this blue, purple, red. It's hard to see online, but it's really interesting altogether. That's one thing I like about Nightshades. Western Sky Knits is another local yarn. I think that Leslie's used this yarn before.
I would love it.
This is grown here in Montana. Kim is the dyer for Western Sky Knits. She does a great job with colors. These are all solid, these Bear Ranch. But then she also has some speckles that she does that are beautiful too. This is her Merino 17 DK. Then we also have her sock yarn. That's kind of our go-to sock yarn that we carry over behind you over there.
Okay, let me see all these speckles. Don't want to get them dizzy.
So pretty.
So many great dyers in this area. We're so lucky.
Very lucky.
And then behind you over here, this is another one of our favorites, Ranching Tradition Fibers. She lives over in Whitehall. It's about 50 miles away from here. These sheep live here. She has a ranch. So this is locally grown, and then there's a mill right by her ranch. So she takes it right there to get it milled, and then she hand dyes it. And we've got it in a fingering weight and a nice squishy DK weight too. We love it for color work. If anybody likes color work out there, that's a great yarn for it.
Yeah, and then Tracy actually designed this sweater called the Copper Leaf sweater using the Ranching Traditions Tobacco Root Valley. It's a really pretty top-down raglan sweater with the color work at the bottom.
Beautiful.
So you get to save all the fun stuff to the end, which
I
I
like
really
that.
like.
I like that too.
I do, yeah, because otherwise I get a little bored after you do all the fun work at the top,
Yeah.
like the halibut that I have on.
It's like dessert.
Beautiful.
You eat your dinner, you get your
Yeah,
dessert.
exactly,
So
exactly.
Cameron's wearing halibut, and Tracy is wearing
A throwover.
a throwover.
Yep.
Okay.
Andrew Maury. It's a Rhinebeck sweater one year.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone can get to Bozeman, make sure you come visit these two wonderful ladies
Come in,
this
say hi,
awesome
or
shop.
you can see all this pretty stuff online too if you can't make it. Give us a call. We love to talk about yarn.
Yeah.
And we have a surprise, don't we? What's our surprise?
Our surprise is we're going to give away,
We're going to give away a skein of this lovely tobacco root.
sure.
Perfect.
DK. You can pick the color.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.